What's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook? What's up, family? And what's up, friends? It's your boy, Lowell, and I'm back again. I got to hit y'all with another video. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know what time it is. Hey, I'd like to welcome you all back to another episode of Papa Lowell's Place. Now, y'all know that Papa Lowell's Place is a place where if it's on your mind, let's talk about it. If it's something that you're going through, let's talk about it. If mama and them talking about it, doggone it, I think we should be talking about it. All right. As I stated earlier, I'd like to thank you guys for clicking on and watching this video. Today we have a video that's very, very intriguing, very different normally than what we're used to. But before we get into the video, of course, I'd like to introduce my guest host for today, Miss Jessie. Miss Jessie, how you feeling?
Hey, Papa Low and gang, I am feeling wonderful and fabulous. And I'm glad I'm on the show today. It's been a minute since I was able to get on with you guys. But you know, I gotta do a toot toot to Papa Low, because we sporting our new jerseys today. You know, you see that thing that say Papa Low's Place across the front, and on the back, let me see if I can get y'all to see the back portion. Can you see the back portion?
Yeah, we see it.
Got that back portion. See that name right there and the number on it? Okay, I'm showing out today, but that's all right. But I'm really interested in the video that we got lined up for you guys today. So, you know, join in the comments and let's get this thing going. Okay?
All right. All right, so y'all heard what Miss Jessie said. You know, like she made mention of the jerseys, you know, and I'm very, very excited with the direction of Papa Lowell's Place, but that's another video for another day. All right, this right here, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Roll the clip.
New at 10, a miracle on the East Freeway. Two small children here in diapers wandering around the wreckage of a violent rollover crash.
Unbelievable images there. ABC 13's Jessica Willey spoke to the man who shot this video. And while, Jess, you, Eric, and I are all parents, I have a baby in diapers as we speak, so this really just rattles my heart, really. How are those babies doing tonight?
Erica, we are still waiting for an update on their condition. So tonight, all we know is that they remain hospitalized here in the medical center. The two children, ages 1 and 4, and their father were rushed here after the crash. The sheriff's office says their father has been released tonight. And while this all may have been just an accident, he could face charges.
It's shocking to see that.
The unbelievable aftermath of a crash on I-10. Two young children wearing only diapers sitting in the middle of crash debris.
The dad was running towards
They are stirring here, but initially Victor Cordova,
I saw the little kids laying on the ground.
Feared the worst.
I thought they were actually they passed away. I thought they were dead.
It was Sunday evening around 7 o'clock on the East Freeway near Beltway 8. Victor was driving home. Traffic had slowed and then parted, incredibly missing the children. Harris County Sheriff's deputies responded to the two-car crash, the impact flipping the Jeep the children were in and then sending them flying. Wow. Their father, 25 years old, according to the sheriff's office, running back to them, Victor was relieved.
Saw them kind of getting up and moving and trying to get up. I felt a little bit better as far as that, you know, but I knew there was still some injuries.
The sheriff's office tells ABC 13 the investigation is not complete, but the father could face criminal charges for not restraining his children.
Crawl out of the Jeep.
That is why Victor, a father himself, shared his video.
For parents and for everybody, even if it's a short distance, to awareness of make sure you secure your kids properly.
And his thoughts are with this family.
Prayers to them to make sure they get well.
Jessica Willey, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
All right, hey, y'all seen that, you heard that. You know, when I saw this video, I mean, it invoked a lot of emotions within me. But the first thing that I thought of and I mean this in all seriousness, is what kind of children are these? You know, usually when you hear and you see these traffic accidents where cars roll over and people are tossed out of the car, usually it's never ever good. But we're talking about, how old were the kids? One was
1 and 4.
1 and 4. And another question I got, and it has nothing related to the accident. I'm gonna let Miss Jessie deal with that. But when do 1-year-olds walk? That 1-year-old was walking. I mean, yes, he might have been in Pampers, but if y'all go back and y'all play that video again, watch. That's not a normal 1-year-old. I don't think I walked at 1. Mama, did I walk at 1? No. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I walked at 1. But yeah, this just watching this video right here, again, just it invoked a lot of emotions within me, because we as parents are responsible for our children. Those children should have been strapped in to where they wouldn't have to be worrying about being thrown out of a car. I'm gonna turn it over to Miss Jessie. Miss Jessie, what you think?
Okay. Oh gosh. Well, first, there's a lot of emotions that went through me just watching this video and seeing the 2 kids in the midst of the wreckage and seeing the Jeep turned upside down that they were in. And then you see the dad running towards his kids. But a passerby had one of the kids, you know, just making sure that the baby was okay. But, it's a little hard, because it's like those little kids was probably scared out of their minds, not knowing what just happened. Now, we as adults, we understand it and we know, but still we can be shaken up too in a car accident as well. But just imagine those 2 little ones who were not restrained in a car seat or in any way, because they were thrown from the Jeep. When the Jeep was rolling over, they were thrown out of the car. And it's amazing that they both were in the same area when they was thrown from the car. And so, like the gentleman said, who they interviewed on the news, his message was, and I think mine will be the same way, is just restrain those kids before you get in the car. You make sure that those kids are restrained in the proper car seats too, because it doesn't seem like either one of those 2 little kids were in car seats, because they were thrown from the vehicle when it rolled over. And like I say, you can rewind the video and you can see they were in the Jeep. The Jeep was white and the Jeep was turned upside down. So they was thrown from the car. So there's no way that those 2 little kids were even in car seats, and they are 1 and 4 years old. They should have been in the car seat, and very well so. That father should be brought up on charges.
No.
That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, so you okay. I mean, some people would say that the dad suffered enough with his kids being injured or whatever have you. Some people would say, you know, that.
Listen, some people may say that, okay, but it doesn't matter what some people say. It matters the voice right now, my voice of those little kids, that he need to be brought up on charges, because he should not have put those kids in the car, first of all, without the proper seating.
I mean,
he did it, and
maybe he was like, you know, like the man said, he kind of alluded to it a little bit, but he didn't go in depth. Maybe he was just running down to the quick mart for a second. You know, I mean, you know.
I don't care if you rolling back to the mailbox to check it. If you put them little babies in the car, you make sure they are in their proper seat and restrained securely before you get in the car.
Well, according to you, he gonna need Bill Green, I guess. He gonna need not what's that, all nines, Henry and Nestor Pulio or somebody. What's it? The attorneys that's down here in South Carolina. If you ever get in trouble, what's the all nines guy? Bill Green. Sing.
I thought it was Bill Green.
Might be
called Bill Green when you collide.
No, he got a 5 in his.
There must be I don't know. One of them got all 9.
George Sink. George Sink.
Injury lawyer.
All right. And, you know, like Miss Jessie said, you know, in all seriousness, the kids need to be restrained regardless. I remember, you know, just a little story time real quick.
I remember when you put
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry, that's
remember
not
being in
funny.
Germany, being a new dad.
I'm sorry.
Being a new dad and wanting to put my best foot forward. Again, being in Germany is cold as anything over there, for those of y'all who've been there. And I put my son in his child seat in the house so that when I got in the car, all I had to do was buckle the car seat up and my son he'd be Gucci. And so we got in the car, whatever have you, I buckled in the child seat. And Jesse, I think you might have been driving at the time. What?
No, I wasn't driving at the time. You were driving. I was in the
Okay, I was
passenger
driving,
seat.
I guess, and then she decided that, she's gonna go ahead and take the covers off of him because, like I told y'all, it was cold. And when she took the covers off of Tevin, all she saw was his feet because I had put him in there upside down. But he was secure. He was secure, family. You know what I'm saying? And the thing that shocked me with that is Tevin didn't even cry because he was upside down the whole time. He didn't cry. That was a good baby. Good baby.
You know, I'm laughing now, but at the time I was terrified because even though we were both new parents at the time. I was 22 and you was probably around 26, 27. So we were still new parents, and the parents, the guy in this video, the father in this video, he was 25. But Tevin was restrained.
Mm-hmm.
Before we pulled off, I was just like, let me uncover him so he can breathe. And I didn't see a head. I saw feet. But he was restrained. He was restrained before we moved. So, hey.
Look, I never claimed to be perfect. As a dad, I do my best. Hey, my kids is old. They grown now. One is mid-30s, right? Mid-30s.
Mm-hmm. 33.
Late 20s. So, I'm still learning as a dad. But y'all, in this video, there's something that we should all learn in there. Make sure that we secure our children. Things like this can happen. And and God, we always say, I hear people say all the time, look at God and won't he do it or whatever have you. This is one of them situations where I'm going to say it. Look at God. Those children, the only reason why they are here today is because God decided to save their lives, to keep them, to hold them. Another thing that I found interesting, and then we're gonna get ready to close out here, is don't cars have glass?
Well, you know something? I see that there wasn't. Well, see, that's probably what happened. The windows were down. And thankfully that it was, because it could have been a whole lot worse, because those babies would have been tossed through that glass instead of just an open window. Because when you see the Jeep turned upside down, the kids were thrown out kind of further back from it. So as it was started to flip, roll, the kids were thrown out. So the windows looked like they were down at the time. I'm not sure, but it looks like the windows were down. They may not have been, but I'm just thinking if those windows were up, then those kids would have hit the window and possibly came through it. Right. So I'm not too sure though.
Yeah, and again, I didn't even think about the going through the window aspect of it. Again, I'm on the aspect of when you see the video and you see them walking, and I'm thinking if there's glass out there, that's another, danger to them, is them walking on glass, getting their feet cut,
Yeah, but see, they probably was in shock and then afraid because they little people standing in the midst of this huge highway, debris all around them, and they disoriented probably, and they looking around because they were looking for their dad, or a familiar face at that time, which would have been dad, and they was like a little bit discombobulated while they were out there in the middle of the street with just the pamper on. Okay, let's just dress accordingly too. Can we do that? Just saying.
All right. Well, the last thing I want to say before we close this video out, and I'll go ahead and shut it down. Do we think the dad was seat belted in, do you think the dad was secure?
I'm gonna say yes, because it doesn't seem like he was thrown from the truck, but he didn't take time to seatbelt those kids in and make sure they was in their restrained seat. But then again, he probably wasn't, because he got out walking like he was in the park. I don't know.
You remember the movie The Blind Side, where maybe the dad was thinking like that. He can, if anything happened, he could throw his hand out like that and.
No, you couldn't, because the baby's in the back seat. Your hand, you are not Stretch Armstrong to be reaching in the back seat trying to protect those babies, and your arm is not going to protect them anyway. As we can fully see in the video, the little babies is standing in the middle of the highway. Okay, with debris all around them in their little diapers, trying to figure out what just happened. And if they could talk, they would tell their dad how they feel about that.
All right, family, tell us what you think. Do you think the dad should go to jail, or has he suffered enough in watching his children, go through what they're going through?
Suffered?
Yeah. Do you think he suffered enough? I mean, sometimes the judge lets people go.
He did not suffer anything. He did not suffer. If anything, he probably thinking, oh, please don't let me go to jail for this. And then he gonna shout out, well, I didn't know, I'm a new dad. Hogwash. Don't nobody want to hear that. Okay. You just restrain those kids from now on. That's what I hope, really and truly, in all seriousness, that he learned from this and restrain those kids from now on.
I got you. We want to hear from you guys. You guys tell us what y'all think in the comments below. Again, I appreciate Miss Jessie getting on with me, giving that good commentary, that she's the yin to my yang. And so I appreciate that. All right. So again, you guys, like, comment, and share this video with your family members so that they know to strap them babies in. All of y'all should be strapped in. The baby should see you strapping yourself in so that they know when they get older that they need to strap themselves in. Kids learn by our example, all right? So you guys take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
I just was thinking back after watching this video. I was just thinking back to when we was in Germany, or any military base for that matter, when Lo was in the military, and they were extremely vigilant about you wearing your seatbelt. Okay, and it wasn't like if you didn't wear it, this would happen. No, you wore that seatbelt. I'm sure that probably Lo, your company commander or battalion person, has something to say about that to you guys when y'all was in formation or whatever like that. Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Yeah, they would definitely. Your company commander would definitely get a report, a status report, and they're gonna let you know. And the thing about the Germans that was really, I don't know if it was underhanded. It might have been underhanded, but if they caught you without your seatbelt on, they didn't hand you a ticket or give you a summons to appear before court. They gave you the opportunity to pay right then and there. They'd be like, you don't even know what the ticket is.
That sounds shady.
Yeah, it'd be like, it's 200 marks. And like, can I get it in right? Something. And you have to drive to the teller machine and get 200 marks, and you couldn't just not come back because they had your driver's license number and everything, your tag and everything. So, it was incredible in that way. Yeah. What else did you find out? What else did you?
Okay, another thing. They did mention that. The news person did mention that the father could be brought up on charges. And like I stated before, I was like, yeah, he should be. But is that going to get him to restrain those kids properly? Because again, it doesn't even seem like the kids were in child restraint safety seats. It doesn't even seem like that, because they was thrown almost halfway over the highway or what have you.
Speak for the daddy. I'm gonna speak for the daddy. He learned his lesson. That's a lesson that you will never forget. You don't think he learned his lesson?
No, he did not. He did, because I didn't see not one tear fall from his face
It was
when he
running. The
was running
tears
to
was
get
like
those
going
kids.
to the back.
No, he ain't learned because the kids were still in the hospital. He was released. What he learned? He probably left them babies up there in that hospital by themselves. You know, I don't know,
Look, Jackie,
but
when you
I
drive,
just don't.
when you drive a car and it's raining, right? The rain goes back. So maybe he was running and he was crying.
I know you ain't. I know you're not sitting up here trying to say that he was crying and his tears just flew backward,
Yeah.
and that's why it didn't pick up on the camera.
That's exactly what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
no,
Y'all see how
not really.
we're gonna do a video see how critical women is of men. The women be critical, man. They be
Even if
critical of men,
if it was a woman, I would have said the same thing.
Thank
You probably said her weave was over her eye, or her braid, or her curls, or her lashes was in the way. I don't care what was in the way. Okay, that's all I'm saying. It don't matter.
All right. This is some behind the scenes footage, and we just decided to keep on talking after the video and just having some fun. All right. You guys take care of yourself. Bye.